Hey boys and girls, today I'm going to talk about what makes a good OC, because people always ask me, hey KP, I like your OC, do you like my OC? It's an alicorn red and black OC with 2 horns on it, do you like it? And I say no. Here's how to not make a shitty character. Number 1, this doesn't apply for just pony characters, but we're gonna have a little bit of an overall focus for just pony characters, so, fun stuff. So rule number 1, which is a really important rule, is learn about color theory. If you don't know what color theory is, you can just Google what color theory is, there's some really good videos about it. But it's just a general art principle about making sure your colors work well with each other. Back in the day, other people already studied what colors work well and what don't work well with each other, and they've already done the work for you. So in general, just off the top of my head, if you do one tint of various colors, that works. If you do colors on the color wheel that are opposite of each other, that usually works. Or if you do colors on the color wheel that are right next to each other, that usually works as well. There's also the difference between saturation and tint. Saturation is the intensity of the color, so in general, especially with character design, you want to make sure your saturation isn't like all over the fucking place. It's a nice, easy color on the eyes usually, and tint or shade is just how dark or light the color is. So if we were to see your character in the pony show or any other character, the point is to not make it stick out too drastically. So another, side point is to study other background characters, maybe background characters that aren't derpy or aren't Doctor Who's, just to see how the characters are built from their colors, because we want to make sure the character fits naturally in the setting. Go research color theory videos, and that will help with understanding, how to use color and stuff like that. As well as different colors can reflect different moods. So if you have a sad pony who's sad all the time, maybe a pony that's mermaid themed or is a sea pony or something, use a lot of blues and greens. Study what specific colors mean to you and how it can reflect your original character. Those are always good starting points. So number 2, this is a more advanced step that I recommend. When they're doing character design, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll take basic shapes and kind of combine them. So a pony OC, if you're only interested in doing a pony OC, that's already done for you. You already know the basic shapes of a pony. It's 3 circles and feet and stuff like that. But if you're doing a non-pony character, if you're doing a dragon, maybe a character that hasn't been defined yet, study shape. Study how characters are broken down and trying to find a mix between what is natural, because a lot of times you don't really know what looks natural until you draw it out, and then it's like, not what I was going for, but as well as studying eye shape. So if you're doing pony eyes, there's specific pony eyes. The most drastically different ones are the Fluttershy eyes that kind of look droopy and sad and stuff like that, as well as Rarity's eyes where they're really defined, and then all the other eyes are just kind of like eyelashes or more eyelashes or less eyelashes. Piggy has 6 eyelashes, Applejack has 3 eyelashes. When my character is done in a show style, I have 3 eyelashes. So it's finding those subtle things that work as well. Again, if you're not doing a pony character, then using those eye shapes to kind of try to define how you can make it look like it's from the show, look like it's quote unquote on model, look like it's a style from the show. You can always also study original concept art from Lauren Faust herself, because she always drew the horses, or other show artists, to just kind of get the feel of the style. And as far as pony type, that's again up to you. My personal preference is I don't recommend alicorn OCs because there's a lot of different contradictions as far as what that means for you creating the alicorn OC, because you have to remember there's only 5, the baby. There's like 5 alicorns in the whole goddamn show, and compared to how many alicorn OCs, there's a lot more alicorn OCs in the fandom there on the show, and it doesn't make any sense to me, and it bothers me. I wouldn't recommend an alicorn OC. I'd either do the 3 types of pony. I'm Pegasus because I'm free-spirited and, all that bullshit. So, Pegasus for those kind of things. You can always do tests online to see what kind of pony type you are or whatever, if that's your thing. Earth ponies are usually, again, about hard work. If you like doing manual labor, if you like to do a lot of sports or exercise or stuff like that, then, Earth ponies might be your bet. If you're more into science and math, then unicorns are usually your bet. If you're in between, like Rainbow Dash still likes sports even though she's a Pegasus, but she likes also flying, and she likes being that free spirit. Or Fluttershy is kind of confusing as far as why she's a Pegasus. I don't know why. I don't make the rules, yo. But there can be contradictions that way. So it could be a character trait. Like maybe you have an Earth pony who really wants to learn how to fly or be a Pegasus or gain the will to fly and has to figure out how. Or that can be a writing tool for you in the future, but that's not important right now. And I made a joke about this before, about red and black OCs. There's nothing really wrong with it, but it's just a little bit of a cliche. So we want to break the cliches, as well as if you have OCs OCs with a lot of markings on it. Like, so a lot of times I'll see stripes on OCs that aren't zebra OCs, and it really confuses me. But general stuff like little patches, like another tip, look at natural horses. You can kind of study the pattern types because, again, art mimics life. So if you get inspired by real life horses and you want to communicate that in an OC, then odds are it won't look too jarring. I don't see horses that look like zebras really that often at all, or blue I mean, the colors are different. So yeah, this last tip is obviously I've hinted at it before, but think about your OC's personality and see how that can be reflected by the design. Maybe if the OC is smart, then it's a unicorn, maybe it has glasses, maybe it lives in Camelot or something of that nature. If your OC just kind of is a pilot maybe, or if it wants to be something in that field, maybe flies a lot, then you can kind of incorporate that, but try to be clever with your OC ideas. So those are just my general ideas for how to make a good OC. If you want to leave some comments and talk about what your OC is, why they might not be so good, leave them here. Hopefully this helps you build your perfect OC. That's one of the first questions I get asked at a convention. It's like, hey, KP, I had this OC, what do you think? And I'm like, learn about color theory. Color theory is so great. Artistic principles are great, so you're not going in like, I don't know, I can art. Look at my art. So if you like this video, again, please make sure to like and comment and subscribe and share and get notified with the bell thingy. I don't know how YouTube works, and share it and stuff like that. So hopefully this helps you make the perfect OC. Thank you, bye. And that's all, folks, except it's not time for the ending gag.
Who's that Pony?
When you hear the buzzer, stare at the art. You should now feel mentally reinvigorated.